Good evening to all of you, wherever you may be. Concacaf Nations League action is here tonight. St. Martin, the top dog right now, followed by Bonaire and Anguilla. Both these teams seeing action against each other for the first time ever. Meanwhile, St. Martin had their way about a month ago between these two squads. Anguilla got beat up 6-0 a month ago, and Bonaire had a 1-0 lead over St. Martin and then fell apart and conceded a couple of goals in the closing minutes and got beat by a final score of 2-1. So Group A competition, League C, and how it stands right now, there's only 3 teams that are in said group. St. Martin playing the 2 games already, have finished with a goal differential of +7, and Bonaire, they lose 2-1 to St. Martin. Anguilla, a little bit different of a tale. They are -6. Neither of these teams have a great deal of success when it comes to CONCACAF Nations League action. When you look at Bonaire, they've played 11 games so far. They're 5-4-2. However, they do have a positive goal differential, so at least they can fill things up when they have the capabilities. Anguilla, not so much. They've played 9 games in Nations League action so far. They have yet to register a win. They have 7 losses and also 2 draws. There's a boatload of action, in fact, when you look at all the groups that are playing not only here today, but over the next couple of games. When you look at who's getting in, who's getting out, Dominica, British Virgin Islands will be getting things underway in a couple hours from now. That is Group C. So all in all, when you look at how these groups are broken down, not a lot of real estate, not a lot of wiggle room. So the errors are far and few if you hope to advance in the CONCACAF Nations League action. Both teams on the pitch right now. We'll get you the national anthems, and then on the other side, we'll get you the starters for both squads. It's Bonaire and Anguilla. They're coming up next.
Ladies and gentlemen, that was the national anthem of Anguilla. And now, for you, the national anthem of Bonaire. Now, ladies and gentlemen, tonight's starting lineup for Bonaire. In the goal, number 12, Daniel Cecilia. Defender number 3, Marcelon Fourier. Number 5, Shehander Martinez. Number 6, Roger Michel.
And we are live here in Bonaire. Bonaire, Anguilla, ready to get things underway. National anthems have been sung. And now we'll look at the starters here and also the officials all the way across the board. It should be a fun night of ball. Temperatures right around 86 degrees, not a cloud in the sky. It is a comfortable night, a Thursday evening. CONCACAF Nations League action is here. Roberto Del Silvia is the lead official here today. We'll look on one side of the ledger before we get to the officials and then go to the other side as well.
Number 3,
Look at how they'll deploy up front.
number 4, Luke Paris.
And they'll go with a 4-2-4.
Fleming.
Ronde in the middle of the pitch.
Midfielder,
Labania, Sign Powell up front.
Jonathan Coisar.
Boy on that back line with Martinez, who has a goal so far here in 2023. Meanwhile, on the other side of things, got the officials. We mentioned Norberto Del Silvia, head official today. Kenran Daniel, Denroy Barker, and Moa Games, fourth official here today.
Anguilla, it's Nigel Connell. The referees for tonight's match are
And we'll get you the other side with
the referee.
Anguilla in just a brief moment.
First assistant referee, Kenran Daniel from St. Vincent. Second assistant referee,
Luke
Denroy
Paris,
Barker from St. Vincent.
a large man.
Third official, Moab Gates
Speaking of Paris, Anguilla
St. Vincent.
will be going from right to left on your screen. Jelani Lawrence is in net here today. See that back line with Bradshaw and Paris, Fleming, Delaney Francis as well, and Kieran Lake Bryan also on the back end. Kyle Lake Bryan will be up front. You look at what kind of productivity they can get. Kyle Lake Bryan does have a goal in Concacaf Nations League action, but they have had a trying time in 9 games. Again, 0-7-2. But that could all change here tonight. So we'll see how things figure out between the two squads. Anguilla in their orange uniforms. Bonaire in the white kits. They'll be going from left to right on your screen. Again, both these teams suffered a defeat to St. Martin. So curious to see how they all has played a Nations League action for a month. Players are ready. Officials, I think, are ready.
Officials ready to get this thing underway, and so are we. First ever endeavor between skies. Not sure what they're holding everything up for, but we'll wait and see. Norberto Del Silva indicates as much, and this contest is now underway. Anguilla again moving from right to left in your screen as Kyle Lake Bryan taken down in the play. here into the second minute. Again, neither side having any success so far. When you look at the body of work, only 5 victories between the two squads. York Sign Powell has a couple goals so far in Nations League action. But that's it for Bonaire. Over on the right-hand side, trying to make a move, just going down outside the 18 was Ronde. That is awfully close to the spot. This will be a free kick here. Kieran Lake Bryan with the takedown. See the conversation between Norberto Del Silva and everybody else. Simon Powell on service here. See how he delivers this one through. It was a dangerous proposition. Be headed away at the last moment. Possession's going to stay, though, with Bonaire. Good movement, at least early on, from Bonaire. Get a quick look at Kyle Lake Bryan. Bryan yet to register a goal so far. Calvin Morgan, Jonathan Guichard, Lamar Carpenter have tallied goals, though, so far. Not a lot of pressure, at least early on. It's one of the things that St. Martin was able to do about a month ago. On the approach, that one broken up at the last minute. Lawrence directing traffic between the pipes. And we'll have our first corner kick of the match going to Bonaire. We'll also take a look around Nations League action tonight. Games tonight, but also over the next couple days. Taken away, Anguilla. Trying to switch the pitch. They can't just yet. That one put into the stands here. Nice play on the receiving end. Boye. Again, they're going with a 4-2-4 across the board here in the 6th minute. Anguilla really hasn't had a shot or an attempt in the attacking area just yet. Bonaire, a couple of dangerous propositions, though. Everything else, for the most part, and that'll be a throw-in for Bonaire. A couple chances at least early on. I mentioned both of these teams not seeing any kind of work for a month. St. Martin 6-0 over Anguilla when they played back on September the 7th. St. Martin came from in that contest. Bonaire was up 1-0. Nice move. Lawrence came out between the pipes, left all alone for a vacant net, but that ball could not get past him. Otherwise, it would have been 1-0 Bonaire. What a dangerous move by Lawrence to come out of his net. Came out to challenge and almost got beat there in the 7th minute. Again, some choppy play here. Second corner kick so far here for Bonaire in the opening half. 8th minute worth of action. Towards the back post, that header! Lawrence got a piece of it and it stays out. Oh, great look by Lawrence. Walking that goal line between the pipes. And Bonaire's been threatening so far. Lawrence, the only reason it's not 1-0. Great stop of the keeper. We'll take a look at that here in a brief moment. There's Cecilia for the first time tonight with a touch. Denyor in net here tonight for Bonaire. Obviously hasn't been busy yet. All Anguilla hasn't done much possession just yet. And again, Bonaire with a counter here. And that pass was intended for Ronde. Ronde never got to it, though. Lake Bryan stepped up nicely into the play. Back on the return, Simon Powell. Possible numbers here. Anguilla over on the right-hand side. One-on-one move. Lawrence comes out. He gets beat this time. It's 1-0 Bonaire. Great finish by Ronde. Ronde on the outside broke free, beating Lawrence down to the right-hand side. It's 1-0 Bonaire here in the 10th minute. Well, it was all set up. Anguilla, who was open on that right-hand side, made no mistake about it. And Ronde on the board for the first time in Nations League action, making it 1-0. Well, it's exactly what you want if you're a Bonaire fan. Early marker, and now they can play their own game. Anguilla has been playing so back in this first half. Extremely surprising they've come out flat as they have. Out wide again, Bonaire looking to push and make it 2-0. Be a golden opportunity here if they can. Been the better team. They've had some jump, and they got the reward. Ronde with his first.
Ladies and gentlemen, goal for
Abania on the assist. Ooh, a far bar attempt. That one as Lawrence came all the way out, leaving the net again vacant. The second time in this contest. But he's been aggressive, cutting down anglers, at least trying to.
correction. Goal was scored by number 15, Gina Roger, at 10 minutes.
Apologize for some of the technical difficulties. 16th minute worth of action here. Ronde getting the goal in the 10th minute. Anguilla has been very flat-footed, and we got a yellow card here for Sean Hodge with a booking in the 17th minute. That didn't look like it was too harmful. Simon Powell waving it off. He's okay. Jamaica playing tonight. Honduras, they took care of business earlier, beating up on Grenada 4-0. Free kick here. This one played across. Off that, it goes off of a member of Anguilla. It looked like Lake Bryan was the one that got a piece of it. Otherwise, Bryan would have gotten beat again. And Lawrence, who's between the pipes, looking like a fish caught out of water right now. It's still 1-0 Bonaire. Take a look back at this again. The creativity for Bonaire has been apparent. They've been the more aggressive club and obviously providing plenty of fruit. Ronde, the receiving end again, looking for a brace in the first 18 minutes worth of action. Lawrence again, easier stop for him here. So Anguilla's been on edge a little bit. This should be another yellow card. Lake Bryan got in front of that play like that, and that's a dangerous proposition. He's on the receiving end of that blunt force trauma. Norberto Dal Silva, he's been busy so far in this opening half, but look at this pass, and it wasn't, I mean, you look at the situation with Ronde. Ronde is actually going for the ball. He's not looking to run over Kirion Lake Bryan. Bryan was the one that got in front of him. Obviously a foul there. He's trying to draw something else. Potential booking against Ronde. Not the case, though, at all. Now we'll see what Bonaire does here in the 19th minute. Delivery, line, drive, going to the back post is Poirier. By design, yes. Odd circumstances, though, on that delivery. Bonaire, though, having a handful of corner kicks here. So we're in the 20th minute. Back post, Lord's coming out. Couldn't get a piece of it, but it stays away. And some contact inside the 18. Jelani Lawrence, been a busy man between the sticks. I'm just looking how things have been divvied up so far. It's been a one-sided tilt for Bonaire. Shots right now, 4-1 in favor of Bonaire. Not only have they been the better team, but the aggressive team as well. Kind of goes hat in hand, given the circumstances. Both teams looking for their first win in Nations League action and group play. And that man right there, Ronde, in the 10th minute, only difference. Anguilla trying to switch the pitch. Nearly had an odd man rush. A pretty good transition defense right there by Bonaire. Take a look at Delaney Francis. Francis was given chase, just didn't have any support behind him or even to the left-hand side. Also a little flat-footed for Martinez. Sheehander, fortunate enough nobody was around for Anguilla, otherwise he would have gotten beat there on that back line. Make sure you stay with us at the end of this first half. We'll have some stats, we'll have some highlights. We'll look back at Ronde's goal. It was great transition offense for Bonaire. Perfect counter that was all set up on the defending end. First corner kick for Anguilla here tonight. This one immediately rejected. Hodge, who has a yellow card in this contest, taken away nicely. Back comes Bonaire. Does feel like Bonaire is playing with a sense of purpose here tonight so far. And you can hear the wind quite a bit, although it is 86 degrees. Extremely windy. No other threatening elements of rain. But of course, humidity is awfully high. Fleming here. Bonaire looking for more. Don't have numbers. It's a 2-on-2. Lawrence hugging that post. It should be a corner kick, but Labania having a decent-sized argument right now with our head official, and a little confusing on that. Labania looks to be the last one to touch that ball, so it'll end up in a goal kick. In group play, Giander Martinez set the only marker against St. Martin, their 2-1 defeat. Couldn't have that 1-goal lead hold up. Possession time clearly marked towards Bonaire, 60% to 40. See Lawrence right there. Spinning, weaving around. Bonaire being more assertive, more aggressive on the ball. This result in a throw-in again. 25th minute from Bonaire. See the fans on the far end of the pitch. You get a couple thousand here at Antonio Trinidad Stadium. Liana gave it up on the left-hand side. Sunnershine. Opposite end, and now we'll see if Ronde could go back to work. Boye. Martinez, back to Boye. Well, one thing that's been evident with Bonaire tonight, working with that 4-2-4, at least that's how they proposition the formation tonight. More aggressive up front. And it worked out to their liking. Goal in the 10th minute. Anguilla's been playing chase ever since. Liana. Boye. Nice play, at least in the breakup momentarily. Hodge can't get to it. He was racing for it. First ever contest between these two squads. St. Martin sits at 2-0. Good for 6 points. A lofty goal differential of +7. Nice chip over the left-hand side. Far side official indicating as much on an offside. Volleyed around, controlled by Anguilla. And that should result in a throw-in for the visitors. Lawrence. Been victimized already, but he's made a couple of nice stops. One on Ronde. And they got players down the ground. Fleming, one of them. Fleming casually getting helped up. Don't know if he was embellishing that, but we'll take a look at it again. Almost looked like, in a sense, Lawrence set up his own teammate for failure, but nevertheless, Fleming's back to his feet. He's all good. 28th minute. It's been busy for one side, not so much the other. Elbow that was potentially thrown here. Ooh, on the left-hand side, Hodge was breaking free. That pass was broken up. Lake Bryan. And now moving forward, Sonnershine giving chase. Lawrence comes out, a vacated net, and it goes wide. Not going to get a better look. Labani has been all over the pitch here tonight. He was staring at a wide-open cage and just could not put it home. But you give a great deal of credit to Jelani Lawrence, who came out, cut down the angle. Labani was probably a little surprised by the results of his keeper on the opposite end. Missed it by that much. Players going tumbling down, like Brian, one of them. Get a quality look there at Ronde, along with Kyle Lake Bryan. Kieran Lake Bryan on the back line for Anguilla. Kyle Lake Bryan up front. Scored a grand total of 4 goals in 9 Nations League matches. And this year, just the one so far that they have played, the one match anyway, losing 6-0. All in all, eerily similar to how this match has gone on so far into the 30th minute. Anguilla had all of 2 shots against St. Martin in that 6-0 drubbing. Now, they've competed a handful of times in the Concacaf Nations League action. 2019, 2022, and obviously this year. Doesn't look like they have the Stadions, though, to compete with many of the clubs in Concacaf. Moving forward, Guichard sandwiched between a couple defenders. He's all good, though. 31st minute. See the shot differentials so far. 3-0 for Bonaire. And really, it hasn't even been that close. Kyle Lake Bryan here in the throw-in. An attempt to get it back, not providing much fruit. Overall, shots are 5-1. And Labania, who missed a wide open net. Granted, it wasn't a clean look, but nevertheless a quality chance to make it 2-0. Nice takeaway here. Lake Bryan couldn't keep it. Retaliation. Ronde again with some numbers and some space. Ronde in the middle of the park. Labania takes that shot and it goes over the net. Ronde down the deck right now. Let's see what this is about. It's a good look. .35th minute. Lawrence again coming out. A little bit of miscommunication, too, in the back end between him and Luke Paris. Paris talking to his keeper. It's going to result in a corner kick on the far side.
Your attention, please, ladies and gentlemen. Substitution for Bonaire.
Lawrence directing some traffic. Get a good look at Barry Sondershine. Got a handful of players for Bonaire inside the 18. Two of them near the 6. 7 players there. Sondershine asking for it. Ball just a little bit too short for him. That'll be close to another corner kick. Either way, possession's going to stay with Bonaire. Parrish did all he could to keep that ball at least inbounds or to avoid a corner kick. It'll just be a long throw-in. Like Brian didn't play that well at all. Higher here on the corner kick. Line drive, that ball perfectly placed. Lawrence got the first one, not the second one. It's knocked in. Bonaire leads now 2-0. Well, the setup was perfect, and for Bonaire, the better team here tonight, and they've been on the receiving end, the front foot all evening long, and Lawrence a little shocked right now, being it's 2-0. Ball is ping-ponging around. Simon Powell, a little bit of English on it. And you see the breakdown defensively. Everybody for Anguilla was been flat-footed so far, and the end result was a 2-0 lead for Bonaire. Goal occurring in the 37th minute.
Goal for Bonaire, scored by number 3, Marcelo Poirier, at 36.
Reason why Anguilla got blitzed by St. Martin 6-0 a month ago. Just don't have the capabilities on the defensive front to really stop anybody. Vander Sande gave that up. Here's Lake Bryan. They got a member for Bonaire down on the deck. Catch a number, but see who this is. To be near the collarbone area. Pausing the action here. Bodies colliding, and didn't see anything there. 39th minute. Had just about everything so far in this contest. Shehander Martinez his second goal in the 36th minute. Ronde his first in the 10th minute. Michel, who was down the deck. Don't know if he took an elbow or a cold shoulder, but regardless, get that kind of trauma near the head and neck region. You're going to have the medical staff erring on the side of caution. Imagine we'll have at least 4 minutes of stoppage time, maybe even more than that here to close out this first half. Again, stats, some highlights, and a whole lot more. And then, of course, at the conclusion of this affair, we'll also have full-time highlights. Connor with a little bit of real estate, but a poor pass intercepted. Back comes Bonaire on the approach. Back through this one, broke it up nicely though. But I want to put this game to bed in the 42nd minute. like they're back at full strength. Liliana puts this one in the box. He was looking for Sonnenschein with his left foot, not as clean as he'd like it to be. Sonnenschein with a pretty decent look. Players colliding underneath us, and Boyer mixing it up with Connor. Connor getting a nice little lecture too from our lead official, Norberto Del Silva. Fortunate didn't pick up a booking there with a yellow card. Paris taking the tumble down. St. Paul, as you see, with the trip. Hasn't been a dirty game by any stretch of the imagination, just rather one-sided on the tilt. Back in transition goes Bonaire. Yeah, let's see if that did come out. That's exactly the case. Paris, rather lackadaisical with the ball, has to peel all the way back to Lawrence on this. Given away. Nice play though by Lake Bryan to intercept. Sunshine has it out wide. Andersonde looking for it. That ball comes to the top of the box. That shot broken up at the very last second. Ever so close to being 3-0. Bonaire looking for a third one. That shot about 10 feet wide of the net. .45th minute. Ronde was first in the 10th minute. They give the goal to Boyer in the 36th. Officials will indicate 2 minutes of stoppage time from the fourth official.
Has indicated that there will be
Moya
a minimum
Games.
of 2 minutes of added time in the first half.
And here it just looks like a comfortable contest for Bonaire. They've done everything they've wanted to so far. Scoring early, not sitting on the lead. Frankly, not in any kind of danger. Lawrence coming out again. And they've been creating as well. I know this first half will have some stats and some highlights, but it's been all one-sided. Anguilla's got one shot on goal as it stands. And this man, Delaney Lawrence, has been under siege. Delaney with a couple decent stops, but outside of that, just been little ambition, little execution for Anguilla. Kieran Lake Bryan gets taken out. They're a little displeased by it. And our lead official, Norberto Del Silva, indicates, fellas, that'll be the end of the first half. So 45 minutes in the books here. Bonaire, it feels like, has a commanding lead right now over Anguilla. 2-0 is the score.
Ladies and gentlemen, the halftime score is
Shots on goal in the opening half. Bonaire with 3 of them. Anguilla with none. And they've been the better club so far. Boyer, his first. Well, 45 minutes in the books here. Bonaire looking to get their first win in group competition. Anguilla looking for their first goal in group competition. Both these teams coming on the pitch here on a Thursday night. St. Martin, the top dog right now in a group competition. with 6 points. And so far, it's been all Bonaire. They've been aggressive, but they've been on high alert. And Jelani Lawrence has been awfully active in between the pipes. He's had numerous chances coming his way. You see the activity around him. It's been indicative of how good Bonaire has played in the first 45. A handful of corners. It's a great stop there by Lawrence in the 7th minute. However, transition game came into effect. Labania over on the right-hand side of Ronde. Ronde with a wide-open corner. He puts it on home past Lawrence. Lawrence looking for an offside call. That's not going to be the case. His first goal of Concacaf in the 10th minute. And Bonaire off and running early, literally and figuratively speaking. It's 1-0. But the activity continued, though, for Bonaire. They did a good job of keeping possession in this contest. And for Anguilla, they really couldn't do much in terms of playing at their pace, playing at their style and what they wanted to do. And because of that, it's been all Bonaire so far, and Jelani Lawrence, who's been under siege so far in this contest, fortunate enough only to have a couple of shots get past him. Speaking of shots getting past him, Labania had a partial break there and just missed the net as Lawrence came well out of his pipe. Match is still 1-0. Looking at this, though, a couple corner kicks and finally a payoff is this one. Boye on the back post. Fat rebound off the hands of Lawrence, making it 2-0. That was his first goal of Concacaf. But again, the relentless pursuit so far from awfully apparent. And Lawrence just trying to keep this game afloat as it's 2-0 Bonaire. First half stats in this contest, you see the shots. It's really not even that close. 10-1, 5 of them on target for Bonaire. Yes, they have been the better team. They're the more skilled team in the possession. Got to imagine this continues all night long. While it's 57% to 43%. This contest hasn't been close at all. Feels like just a matter of not if, but when for Bonaire to tack on a couple more goals as they lead by a count of 2-0. We'll have some other highlights. Take a look around the Concacaf Nations League action. More of all that and then some on the other side. But 2-0 right now, Bonaire over Anguilla.
Don't miss the best moment of Concacaf games and tournaments. Follow us on TikTok at Concacaf. Ladies and gentlemen, Qatar Airways is proud to be the official airline partner of the Concacaf Nation League. Fly over to 160 destinations worldwide with Qatar.
All right, second half is about to with Bonaire up 2-0. Anguilla looking for just their second shot in this contest, and their first one on net. Hasn't even been that close. We'll see if there's any changes as this night.
Ladies and gentlemen, substitution for Anguilla. Leaving the game, number 3, Setu Bradshaw. Entering the game, number 8, Harmony Gums.
So we got the one change for Anguilla. Bradshaw departing. See if that does anything in this contest. Moni Gums coming into the contest to start the second half. We'll see if it provides any kind of prosperity, though, for Anguilla. Getting outshot by a severe and wide margin in this contest. The hope and the desire is at least try to make it competitive, right? On the intercept, coming back the other way. Francis had it for a moment. Bodies colliding there. That's a heavy collision near us. Take a peek at this again. Francis had a full head of steam. And you see at the very last moment, a couple players colliding. Michel was one of them. Saint Paul the other.
Substitution for Anguilla. Leaving the game, number 30, Joe Gay. Entering the game, number 7,
Javis Jones just being officially announced.
substitution for Bonaire.
So 7 and 8 both in for Anguilla.
Number 21,
Kane Connor here on this free kick. Probably the most dangerous spot on the pitch here tonight. Back post. That was a dangerous proposition. Cecilia was looking around, but everybody, it feels like, for Anguilla was looking for an infraction that resulted in a penalty. Nice delivery here by Connor. Back post. Kyle Lake Bryan asking for a takedown. Gums also who was there. Same thing, but nothing was called. I think the other element, too, is for as bad as Anguilla played in the first 45 minutes worth of action, if they can get a goal here early on the second half, that'll give Bonaire something to think about. They haven't been perfect by any stretch as Bonaire, but they've been pretty darn good. Got numbers here in transition, 3-on-2. That pass was broken up at the last moment. Result in a throw-in, but you see Fleming there. Good transition defense by Anguilla, otherwise it would have been 3-0. Felix Verhar is also on the pitch. See Felix rocking number 7. One of the strikers on the squad for Bonaire. See Barry Schottenstein. Schottenstein's been busy in the first 45 minutes worth of action. Been active on the ball without it. It's corner kick. Nice line drive, headed away by Anguilla at the last moment. And 4 players near the 6. Again, heading into this contest, St. Martin leading the group. Group A, League C. 2-0, beating both these clubs. Did so by a combined margin of 8-1. Labania, who played well in the first half, maybe a little bit of a flop there. Connor not in agreement with the call. Free kick here. Hayek. Back post looking on. Lawrence didn't handle that cleanly at all. Fortunate enough, ball was knocked in by Verhaar. That was a circus act in the first half for Jelani Lawrence. Second half, a little wobbly as well. John Shine maintaining possession. Van der Sand. And peels this one back. See what kind of movement we have, at least with the buildup for Bonaire. Did a great job in the first 45 of playing patient. Connor, lazy pass intercepted. And lead pass, this one going to be a little bit too far out in front. Anguilla with an opportunity to get this thing out of harm's way, and they do. Gums, who just came into the contest. Fresh legs. Melania. The cross. Lawrence is there. Well, one thing that's been evident, at least so far, has been the creativity of Bonaire. Bonaire been a member of Concacaf since 2014. They won their debut over the U.S. Virgin Islands in the Caribbean Cup qualification tournament back in 2014. They had all of one loss in 2019-2020 in the Concacaf Nations League season. Want to make some more noise here, but tough when they should have gotten things taken care of against St. Martin, leading 1-0, and then conceding 2 goals in the second half. And that was the difference maker. Right now they sit in League C, trying to move up to League B and eventually upward and onward. But becoming a member of Concacaf back in 2014. One thing is, not a member of FIFA, so it can't compete in the FIFA World Cup. Back out wide, they have some numbers again. See how this one fares. Sunshine, who was at the top of the box, was the trailer. Ball never came his way. Nice job, Jort. Anderson moving around. Thought he was held up for a moment. Back out wide again. That's a difficult challenge. We'll see if that renders a yellow card here. Lake Bryan not happy with this. You could be the judge. All right, who went down? Yeah, he was clearly taken out, too, by Huron Lake Bryan. Boye is going to take this free kick. It's a dangerous spot given the angle. Five inside the 18 for Bonaire. Two hovering just outside the box. Boye. Delivery. Lawrence alertly comes out. He won't be ambushed on that occasion. Got beat once in the first half in a similar instance. But much better here in the second half. 56th minute. Again, there's been no real traffic on the defensive end for Bonaire. They've been playing all in the attack. Verhar, some miscommunication. A lot of chirping on the pitch here tonight. The long players jostling for position. There's no chance for Van der Saan to get to it. And now Norberto Del Silva looking on. Got one player down for Bonaire. Don't want to say that it's been freewheeling. We've had a couple players down tonight because of cramps or some physical contact above the shoulders. Michel getting off the pitch. Appears to be okay. Took some contact in the first half, too, and able to fight that off. Martinez. Scored against St. Martin. Scoring hasn't been a problem for Bonaire in Concacaf Nations League action. It's been the inability to shut people down. Conversely, for Anguilla, it's exactly the case. They have not scored at all. Troubling as it is, they have scored all of 3 goals in now 9+ contests. And now they're staring down the barrel of a 0-8-2 record. They have conceded 32 goals in 9+ contests. Obviously includes the margin here tonight. So not a lot of firepower. And whatever skill that they have been pretty much neutralized. They have 1 shot here tonight. They had 1 against St. Martin. Lawrence here. As Verhar was given chase on him. More penetration, the transition, back post. Lawrence came out alertly because it was a wide open net for Verhar. Felix looking on. And we have a player down. In fact, 2 of them were for a moment. That collision occurring 40 yards out from target. I think Bryan was one of them. Labania the other.
Atenção, veículo 24266, vamos de alto na Trascender. 24266, vamos de alto na Trascender.
To the shot so far, 5-0 for Bonaire. They have 10 total, 5 on target. Two that have gotten past Lawrence. In fact, Lawrence made one stop on the goal line against Bouillet. Like Bryant coming off the turf. Appears to be okay. Fans looking on here in Bonaire. It's been a comfortable night, even with a slight breeze. All in all, even with the wind howling a little bit, it's a clean night for ball. Nicely taken away on the intercept, but give and take, right? It's exactly the case. Transition game smooth so far for Bonaire, but they're going to rule it on the far side. Offside is the call. To the far side official with his flag up, respectively. Part of the luxury that you have here is a hot microphone so you can hear both head coaches talking to their troops. A lot more chirping here in the second half than we experienced all in the first half. Jamaica leading Grenada now by a count of 2-1. Jamaica scored first. Kevon Lambert. Trayvon Williams with the equalizer for Grenada. And Shamar Nilsson, the go-ahead goal. That's where they stand. Trying to get around the corner. And this looks to be some heavy contact against Labania. Now Labania doing a little bit of chirping with Paris. That's a complete mismatch in terms of size and power. And for some unknown reason, you have players from both clubs getting together. Really wasn't much of anything, at least what we saw. Take a peek at this again. Labania, Paris jostling for position. That's just a normal clean play. I guess you could say with Paris, you had the one forearm in the back to Labania. I don't know. Tensions are high. Those two are still chirping. I think the one sentiment is with the way this game has gone. Just play on, fellas. Dominica, British Virgin Islands, tied 1-1. Brielle Thomas scored in the 82nd minute to get the equalizer for Dominica. Luca Chalwell, who scored in the 29th. And Cecilia down on the deck right now with a cramp. That is rather shocking, especially for a keeper. He hasn't done anything tonight. Kid you not. Anguilla has had 3 shots in this contest, and none of them have reached Cecilia. St. Kitts and Nevis won their contest earlier today. Again, these teams playing here tonight for the first time ever. The last time they saw any kind of live action was a month ago when they got their group play underway. Interesting, this contest has really slowed down tremendously. And I get a substitution. Franz coming in. Asenia also coming in. And one more change is Coffee also entered the fray. Asenia was in, and now Jervin Coffee as well. So each team making a handful of changes right now. Emptying the bench, as they would say. See the changes at the top, more for Bonaire so far in Anguilla. But Bonaire, they've really controlled this contest. They're in no danger of losing, let alone conceding a goal so far. And it's strange to see how this thing has developed.
Entering the game, number 30, Roel France. Also, leaving the game, number
68th minute.
Jonathan Lisbian. Entering the game, number 11, Christopher Isenia.
Asenia just announced.
Substitution for Bonaire. Also, leaving the game, number 5. Shihander Martinez entering the game, number 4, Jervin Coffee.
Far side official didn't have the flag up, so the players are onside. Saw a lot of this in the first half. Everything was a cross for Bonaire. Didn't do any kind of direct activity towards Anguilla. Part of the reason why they had the advantage at 2-0. The other part was opening up the sides like they did. There's some wide open spaces and gaps, which allowed them to have a comfortable advantage and a wide shot margin as well. Well, they've had 4 substitutions so far for Bonaire. Franz, Asenia, Verhar, and Coffee. See if there are any more changes for the home team. Cecilia was back on his feet after cramping a few minutes ago. Sonnenschein gave it up on the right-hand side. Jonga. Jonga also coming in. All these players, respectively, have club teams that they've moved away from. You have a ton of teams in North America that have called upon their national talent competing in Concacaf. This is a potential chance. This one immediately cleared out, though, by Bonaire. And they really have not been in any kind of trouble here tonight. It's been tactically sound. A little too hot on that pass. 71st minute here from Bonaire. Bonaire 2. Anguilla nothing. Chanel Ronde in the 10th minute. First goal in this contest. Marshall Anguilla in the 36th minute. The insurance marker. And everything has held up ever since. We've got some contact here in the middle of the park. And that'll be a yellow card. Oliana called for it. Take a peek at this again. Ooh. Studs up. It's a poor challenge. Well, there's a time and a place for everything, but I don't feel like you're comfortable for Olania in that position. That's Javis Jones who went down. It's even the bad end of that. Not comfortable by any stretch of the imagination, even though it's rather late. 72nd minute, that header just a little bit off. It's a good look. Guichard, best chance of the night for Anguilla, but that thing goes a hair wide to the right.
Sorry for number 16, Rishair Oliana at 71 minutes.
Announcing the yellow card for Oliana in the 71st minute. Lawrence coming out. Make sure you stay with us at the end of this contest. We'll have full-time stats, full-time highlights. See if there's anything here. Gums trying to get around the corner. Can't get to it, but the result will be a corner kick for Anguilla. It's their first one here of the second half. Be curious to see if Anguilla's got any kind of push in them in the closing minutes of this contest. That header poorly executed, floundering around. Opportunity here for Bonaire to clear it, and they finally do. Possible numbers in the transition game. No numbers, though. Lawrence looking on. Back post, that header poorly executed for Bonaire. So you saw in one instance for Anguilla, they couldn't execute. Sun and shine on the receiving end of a perfectly placed cross. Couldn't complete the act either. Fans would have loved that payoff here in the 74th minute. Near turnover. One thing that's been apparent, though, is entire night's been easy for Bonaire. Been possessing for as much as humanly possible. And they've given it away on a few times. Rahar couldn't settle it down. And then called for the retaliation on that 75th minute. Coffee there sticking his right leg out. Lucky enough he wasn't provided a yellow card because of that. Heel kick, top of the box. That shot blocked on the way through. Coffee here. Sun and shine there. Now it looks apparent that Bonaire is searching for a third goal. Do they need it? No. Will they take it? Absolutely. They have 5 fresh players that have entered this contest. They're trying to make an impact here in this affair. Fans getting a little loose and comfortable right now for good reason. Team is well out in front. Jonga, left-hand side, Coffee. I think he was anticipating Sunshine to go one way at an angle, not so much direct, and that was just poor execution on one side. Two goals in the first half. Ronde in the 10th minute. Feels like that's going to be the game-winning goal, doesn't it? Been pretty easy. Nice move, getting around one defender. Can't keep the ball within those. Coffee. Depossessed nicely. Connor up front. Connor asking for a foul. Guichard had a brief step on Boyer, but Boyer able to wipe that thing out at the last moment before it became too dangerous. On the corner, bouncing around. Ooh, a threat there as Paris was looking near the 6. Whistle and a foul here. Take a look back at this again. Connor right through the wickets. Obvious foul. Talked a little bit about Bonaire coming into an existence recently. Anguilla, founded back in 1990. Decent amount of history, not much success to go with it though. Ball just floating around, everyone looking to see who's going to attack it. Nobody did. Thought for sure Guichard was going to do that. Sunshine trying to get around Paris. Good closing speed though by Paris. 80th minute. Played the long way. Chance here, that shot on goal. Lawrence able to gobble it up. Got about 660 people here tonight in Bonaire. Seeing the festivities here at Antonio Trinidad Stadium. Looks like we'll have a few more changes as well.
and gentlemen, the total attendance for today's match is 616.
As they made that official announcement on the attendance.
2023-2024 Concacaf Nation League.
Hodge going down there. Another substitution for Anguilla. Jared Smine's coming in now. Other change as well. McKee Connor. So 2 more off the bench. Franz with the yellow card just announced. He goes in the book. 81st minute.
Ladies and gentlemen, yellow card issued for player number 13. Roel Franz from Bonaire at 80 minutes.
Shot discrepancy is awfully large. Yes, 7-0, but Bonaire double-digit shot total here tonight. This one, the top of the box. A little bit of English on it. Banged around. Body's going down there. Smine's trying to pull the trigger, but couldn't. There's a whistle and a foul being called. See a couple guys that were down, one for Bonaire, obviously.
Your attention please, ladies and gentlemen. Substitution for Anguilla. Leaving the game, number 22. Lake Brian.
Just announced that colleague Brian's leaving. Coffey's cross, fended off nicely by Paris.
Also leaving the game, number 12 for Anguilla. Jonathan Khoisant, and entering the game, number 9, McKee Connor.
Just announcing Connor coming into the fray. Again, Lawrence looking on that header. Oh my goodness, that was a golden opportunity there for Jort. Vandersand with a clean look towards target. That thing just a hair off the mark. That thing was put on a tee for him, wasn't it? I mean, the execution continues to be fantastic for Bonaire. Just the end result. The 85th minute. hard challenge there. And Lake Bryan getting a lecture. And also a yellow card to boot. Played through nicely, but Paris getting in front of that attempt.
Ladies and gentlemen, yellow card issued to player number 20, Kieran Lake Bryan,
So the Lake Bryan,
at 86 minutes.
one for a handful of yellow cards here tonight. Apologize for the language. You know, the hot microphones might pick up certain things. Closing minutes of this contest, 87th minute. Twirling around, keeping it. Nice move by Francis. Connor gave it up. See if he can get it back. Got a player down. Let's see who that is. Looks to be Delaney Francis. Delaney cramping up like many of players have tonight. Francis doesn't want the help, at least that medical staff. Let's see if that spray does anything for him. Shots right now, 15-3 in favor of Bonaire. Bonaire with 7 shots on target, and the possession time, 63% to 37. And France is trying way too hard to stay on the field. And the thing, too, with Francis, perhaps a little too stubborn to come off the pitch. In fact, ignoring the medical staff is one thing. But ignoring your teammates would be another. Not only just chewing up some clock, but not giving anything else a thought outside of himself. Sunshine couldn't win it. Connor pushes this thing forward. Cold shoulders, we enter the 90th minute. Be rather curious to see what kind of stoppage time we have in this final stage. Although the score is only 2-0, it's a wider gap than these numbers look at.
Your attention, please, ladies and gentlemen.
5 minutes of stoppage time,
Substitution for Anguilla
and then we'll call it a wrap.
in the 19th minutes. Leaving the game, number 16, Delaney Francis. Entering
We'll have some post-game highlights, full-time stats as well.
Francis.
Up front, Van der Sande. Moving around. Sonnershine.
The fourth official on the sideline has indicated that there will be a minimum of 5 minutes of added time in
Coffee. Fighting, jostling for positioning. Can't win it there. See a lot more of a competitive nature from Anguilla here in the second half than we saw all the first 45. Which is rather disappointing to experience, given the circumstances. Not only have they not won a Concacaf Nations League match, but they haven't even scored a goal. Another whistle and a foul. Fans here in attendance not too happy about it. Certainly take a peek at that. And Franz, who has a yellow card in this contest, not going to pick up a second one there, but regardless, on the guilty side of the infraction. Just about 2.5 minutes to go. And then we'll put a wrap on this thing. A lot of holes in the game for Anguilla. Bonaire, not so much, but again, possession being controlled by them, you really can't tell what deficiencies they might have as a club. Played into the box nicely, just outside that dangerous angle shot. Coffee keeping it in. Looking for more. Handled down nicely. Is a third one coming? Lawrence is there. Bonaire continues to buzz, don't they? Gums. Picked off nicely. Verhaar. Patient. Sonnershine. Top of the box, out wide. Some good separation here by Bonaire in the closing seconds of this contest. Van der Sande looking for an angle to pull the trigger, couldn't. Might be one last push for the home team. Jonga on the far side. And that thing's slightly out the mark. He was looking for a Senya. Sweet flip. Lawrence is there just in case. That ball had a little bit of action to it. One final action here before this thing is put to bed. Been an easy day at the office for Bonaire. Better team, yes. More energy, definitely. And they didn't overlook their opponent either, which always helps. Senio on this corner kick. And that, as they would say, is that. Bonaire wins it. They get on the board here in group play and pick up 3 points. I think it was an easy day at the office for them as well. They beat Anguilla here today by a final score of 2-0.
Ladies and gentlemen, thank you for coming to the Trenidad.
Comfortable day. Ronde with his first goal of Nations League action, the 10th minute. Boyer in the 36th minute. Final here again tonight. Bonaire 2, Anguilla nothing. We'll step aside. When we come back, we'll get you some full-time stats and also some highlights as Bonaire here this evening from Antonio Trinidad Stadium. And Bonaire looked like the home team, the better team in this contest, and they had numerous opportunities. Simon Powell nearing his way towards the second goal of the contest, and although they didn't score early on, Jelena Lawrence was awfully busy for Anguilla. Had to fend off several attackers for Bonaire, but on the right-hand side here, he's finally beat Ronde with his first goal in the 10th minute, breaking the deadlock at 1-0. Bonaire in the first half worth of action, they had 10 shots, and half of them were on target. So for Jelena Lawrence, he was really under siege and didn't have a lot of support in front of him. And because that Bonaire was able to create, they were able to do numerous things with the ball and without it, and get a lot of their strikers at least engaged in this contest. As you see that whip from Ronde just sailing over the net was partially deflected. This chance here off the mark from Labania as Lawrence came out aggressively about 40 yards out as Paris looking on, curious as to why he got beat. But a loose ball off of a corner kick, and Boyer just bangs that in. It's his first goal of Concacaf Nations League action. And so the teams went to the locker rooms at the end of the first half, and it was all Bonaire. They had 10 shots. They had 5 of them on target. They controlled the possession game as well. It was 57% to 43%. And yeah, of course, they looked like the better team because it appears they had the better talent, especially on this night. And so at the end of the first half of play, it was all Bonaire leading 2-0. Second half was a little bit dicier than the first half, and you figure Anguilla would try to turn things around or at least crank up the emotion. Well, the emotion came, but the execution was not there by no stretch of the imagination. And part of this is when you look at these highlights right now, you don't see any kind of activity on the defensive end for Bonaire. Anguilla had all of 3 shots in this contest, and none of them were on target. And for Bonaire, It was an easy night at the office, and that's why they won this thing by a wide margin. It looks like 2-0 was the final score. Final numbers in this thing will tell you a little bit, but not all of the entire story. But Bonaire, total shots